Hi all, this is Don P. Jose, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Vedavyasa Institute of Technology. Today I am going to discuss about the topic four-stroke diesel engine and petrol engine. This is one of the most important topic in mechanical engineering. As we all know that engine is one of the most important part in an automobile. Now let's move on to the working principle of diesel engine. Based upon the working fuel used in the engine, engines are classified into two. One is the diesel engine and the other is the petrol engine. And also based upon the stroke of the engines are classified into four-stroke engine and two-stroke engine. Here we are going to discuss about the four-stroke diesel engine. In diesel engine, we all know that the fuel used is the diesel. Diesel is used as the working fuel. And coming to the stroke is based upon the movement of the piston. Now let's look into the basic parts of an engine cylinder. On the right corner of this slide, it is given. In this figure, we can see that the top dead center is the topmost portion of the cylinder and bottom dead center is the bottommost position of the cylinder. And the distance between the top dead center and bottom dead center is called stroke. And the wall around the cylinder is known as the cylinder wall. And there is a piston in between the cylinder. This piston will be reciprocating throughout the engine from top dead center to bottom dead center and then from bottom dead center to the top dead center. And this piston is linked with the connecting rod and it is connected with the crank. And the crank will be in the rotatory motion when the piston moves upward and downward. Now coming to the topmost portion of the cylinder, that is the valve. We have two valves in the topmost part of the cylinder. The valve on the left side is known as the inlet valve and the valve on the right side is known as the outlet valve. And in between the valves we have spark plug or fuel injector. In case of diesel engine, it will be the fuel injector. So these are the basic parts in an engine cylinder. For in the case of the diesel engine, for the four stroke, we have to understand that there will be four strokes in this engine. That means the piston will be moving from top dead center to bottom dead center. That is the first stroke. Then bottom dead center to the top dead center. That is the second stroke. And from top dead center to bottom dead center. That is the third stroke. And after that, moving from bottom dead center to top dead center, that will be the fourth stroke. And the movement of this piston is marked as the stroke. And these four strokes are given four names. That's given in the slide. The first stroke, that is from the top dead center to bottom dead center, is known as suction stroke. And then from bottom dead center to top dead center, that is the second stroke, is known as compression stroke. And later from top dead center to bottom dead center, movement of the piston is known as expansion stroke or working stroke or power stroke. And finally from bottom dead center to top dead center, the movement of this piston movement is known as the exhaust stroke. Now let's move into the working of this four-stroke diesel engine. Now let's discuss the core part of this discussion, that is the working of four-stroke diesel engine. And as we all discussed that the first stroke is known as the suction stroke. In suction stroke, the piston will be moving from top dead center to the bottom dead center as shown in the figure in the left hand side of the first one. During the motion of the piston from top dead center to the bottom dead center, the inlet port will be open and the fresh air will be entering through the inlet port to the cylinder. And as the piston reaches the bottom dead center, the inlet valve closes. And next stroke begins, that is the compression stroke. In compression stroke, the piston will be moving from bottom dead center to the top dead center. During this process, both the valves will be closed, and as the piston moves from bottom dead center to the top dead center, the fresh air will be compressed to high pressure and high temperature. As the piston moves to the topmost position, the pressure and temperature will be the maximum. And after this, at the end of the compression stroke, through the fuel injector, the diesel will be sprayed as fine particles into the cylinder. As the temperature and the pressure is high for the air, the combustion begins. This is the beginning of the power stroke. During the combustion, enormous energy is released and the piston moves from top dead center to bottom dead center. And this stroke is known as power stroke. And in the final stroke, after reaching the bottom dead center, the piston will start to move upward. During this time, the outlet valve will be open, that is shown in the final figure. That is the fourth one. The outlet port will be open, and after the combustion, there will be the exhaust particles in the cylinder. And the piston will be moving from bottom dead center to the top dead center. During this motion, the exhaust valve will be open. That exhaust port is open, and as the piston moves towards upward, these exhaust particles, these polluted particles, will be going throughout the exhaust port. And again the cycle begins. Come to the first figure, that is the exhaust port is closed and inlet port is open. Again the piston will be moving from top dead center to bottom dead center, and fresh air will be entering through the intake port. And the process continues and the cycle continues. This is known as four-stroke diesel engine. Now let's move on to the working principle of petrol engine. As we all know that in a petrol engine, the working fuel used is petrol. And also here the stroke is number 4. That is, the piston will be moving 4 times. That is from top dead center to bottom dead center, and then from bottom dead center to top dead center, then again from top dead center to bottom dead center, and again from bottom dead center to top dead center. And the 4 strokes are named as suction stroke, compression stroke, expansion stroke, and exhaust stroke. The only 2 differences in the petrol engine and fuel engine is the fuel used is petrol in a petrol engine and a diesel in a diesel engine. And also here in petrol engine, spark plug is used instead of the fuel injector. Now let's move on to the working of petrol engine. Now let's discuss about the working of 4-stroke petrol engine. The working principle is almost the same as diesel engine, but there are few differences between them. In 4-stroke petrol engine, similar to the diesel engine, there is inlet port, exhaust port, piston, connecting rod, and crank. So in suction stroke, the piston will be moving from top dead center TDC to the bottom dead center, that is BDC. During this motion, the inlet port or intake port will be open, and a mixture of air and fuel, that is the petrol, air and petrol, will be entering through the intake port. As the piston reaches the bottom dead center, that is BDC, the intake valve will be closed. And the next stroke begins, that is the compression stroke. During the compression stroke, both the valves will be closed and the piston will be moving from bottom dead center to top dead center. During this motion, the air fuel mixture will be compressed to high pressure and high temperature. At the end of the compression stroke, that is the beginning of the power stroke, a spark will be ignited at the spark plug. Due to the spark plug, Due to the spark from the spark plug, the air fuel mixture, that is the air petrol mixture, will be started to fire. That is, the combustion begins. During this combustion, an enormous amount of energy will be released and the piston will be moving from top dead center to the bottom dead center. And this stroke is known as power stroke or working stroke. And finally, the next stroke, that is exhaust stroke, begins as the piston reaches the bottom dead center. And from bottom dead center, the piston starts to move upward. During this, the exhaust port, that is the last figure, the exhaust port will be open. And this combusted products, that is the polluted products, the soot and everything after the burning, the exhaust products will be going throughout the exhaust port to outside. And as the piston reaches the TDC, that is the top dead center, all the exhaust particles will be escaped through the exhaust port. Again the cycle begins, that is the first figure, that is suction stroke. Again the piston will be coming from top dead center to bottom dead center and the intake port will be opened and fresh air petrol mixture will be entering through the intake port. Again the cycle continues. This is the working of four-stroke petrol engine. And thank you.